Projectors, I want to know how many of you hated your design when you first learned what it meant.
All right, story time. And it does relate to this stitch. But I wanted to say something. Um, when I was in my late 30s and early 40s, I worked as a public librarian for a very large library system. And it was a very interesting career change for me. And it was very much out of my depth because I was coming to it from a corporate job, but I needed a job to fit with my creative work. And I really wanted to connect with the community more. And I really was happy to, because I'm a writer and I have an English degree, I was able to land a job working in a library. So I'm training. This is one of the first weeks I was there, and I was training with a librarian in the technology center. Now, if you don't know public libraries, I will tell you that they are the last bastion of the third spaces that we all need in our society. And so a lot of these spaces, whether it's the reading rooms, the meeting rooms, the workshop rooms, or the technology center, those are places where a lot of people can gather and share ideas, work on projects together. And so we had a rule, because the technology center could get really clogged and really loud. If you were going to be in there, the rule was that you had to be in a seat. Now, this is a place where a lot of high schoolers would come after school, and they would want to gather around a computer and go on social media with their friends or look up really cool stuff online and talk with each other about it. So what was happening is a lot of them could not find chairs. They couldn't find chairs. And so they were getting kicked out of the technology center. It was causing lots of fights. And so the woman I was training under, she was like, hey, let's go to this other part of the library. And we went and we got a lot of seats. We got a lot of chairs. And we brought them over. And she told me something that just stuck with me for the rest of my life. And she said, if you give people a rule, but you don't give them the means in which they can abide by it, you're only going to create resentment. And I was like, what? I was blown away. And this has been the motto of my life ever since, especially in metaphysical spaces, because I write and I teach about the occult. And so there's a lot of rules. There's a rule of physics. There's the rule of causality. There's all these rules in the universe based upon the nature of who we are. But if you don't give people the tools to be able to follow those rules, you're just going to make angry people. And you're going to foster resentment. And you're going to foster trauma. And so I thought about that. And so when I found out that I was a human design projector, I saw all these rules, right? They say, wait for the invitation, but nobody described what an invitation was. Nobody said, like, this is what an invitation feels like. And these are the types of invitations you want to look for. They didn't describe what it felt like to be in a right invitation or a negative invitation. They didn't describe of why you need to wait, what happens to the energy bodies, what happens to the chakras if you don't wait. Nobody explained that. They just said, wait and shut up, look pretty because you're a projector and you only answer when talked to. And I was like, that reminded me of those kids who were fighting against all of these rules and no chairs. And I just wanted a chair. I just wanted someone to tell me, okay, okay, here you're a projector, and I know you've not felt seen or heard your whole life, and you felt isolated, and you felt like a freak, and you feel like people are both magnetically drawn to you, and then all of a sudden they freak out on you and run away, and then you're like, am I a monster? Am I Frankenstein's monster? And I know I look like one, but I felt like it. I felt like a monster for most of my life. And I would actually run after them like, hey, can you tell me what I did to hurt you? I need to know. I need to know why I keep chasing everybody away. And you know what they told me? They told me I was too much. I was too kind. I was too intimate. I was too emotional. And I'm like, but did I hurt you? Did I take away your autonomy? Did I do anything that made you feel unsafe? And they're like, no, you're too much. I don't like you. I don't like your feelings. Your feelings are too intense. And I was like, so you just want me to be silent? And they're like, yeah, I don't want you to share your feelings. And then I was like, and it took me years to figure this out. And that's the problem. That was the problem, is that a lot of the early rhetoric of human design was telling you the rules, but they did not give you any chairs. And so all I felt was resentment. All I felt was that bitterness. So that's why I make my videos and tell people about my story. And I'm like, hey, these are my chairs. The chairs that I found that make life bearable is that I recognize as a projector, I have a very magnetic and powerful aura. People are drawn to me because I can reflect their energy back to them, and it feels like they feel seen for the first time in their life. They feel as if they have been held or loved, but some of those people don't want me to be a human being. They want me to be a commodity that they consume, and those are the people I don't accept the invitation for. I wasn't speaking out of turn. I was trying to love people who saw me as a commodity. And this is what I learned. In the cross of planning, you have hierarchy. You have the haves, the people at the top, most likely masculine, and those people have very little empathy. And then as you go down the rung, it's more and more empathy. And it goes down even to the animals, the most empathy, the dog, so that we as projectors are at the level of the dog in society. Because of our empathy and our ability to be able to see people and make them feel seen, we were like a dog to people. I was an emotional support pet. I wasn't a friend. I wasn't a wife. I wasn't a partner. I wasn't an employee. I was a dog to these people. They did not see me as a human being because they were taught by the cross of planning that anything with empathy is a dog. You pet it, you give it food, but you beat it if it gets out of line. And that's how I felt. For the longest time, I felt like a dog, like a mutt off the street, just because I wanted to love people. So now I'm a free dog, more of a wolf. Ow! And I don't love the old way at all. I don't love the rhetoric around projector, but I do love who I've become, and I do love this energy that I was born with. And I do know now that I draw people in, they will be magnetically attracted to me, but I get to be picky. I get to decide who I run with, because I'm not a dog anymore. I'm a wolf.